All right, guys. Hey, I'm excited about this smart idea today. I'm in my big Ram diesel truck today, visiting my daughter and son-in-law and my new grandson. And I was at a restaurant today eating a corn-fed Nebraska steak, and it was fantastic. Now, I'm pretty sure that cow probably had insulin resistance by the time it got to me to eat it. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between grass-fed, corn-fed, um, range-free chickens and so forth. Is that something that we should be concerned about and focused on as we look at dealing with insulin resistance and improving our health? And it doesn't really move the needle that much. And so I want to kind of get you guys' feedback on that, Carly, Lindsay, and Jack, and see what you guys think.
I think Carly's our main expert. Do you want to go, Carly? And then I'll.
I was going to
You
pick
know,
on Carly because she's a farmer.
I don't, it's interesting. I don't know if we have a consensus on this. There's lots of people that will say grass-fed, grass-finished is, the only meat we should be consuming. We should even stay away from chicken because of the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. And then you have other people that say it's not that big of a deal. Corn-fed is fine. You have the cow who's consuming those things as kind of a middleman to deal with the issues, and that the nutrient profile isn't that much different. It's hard to believe that that's true, that grass-fed, grass-finished isn't superior to corn-fed, which isn't how a cow would eat naturally. And that's when they gain all their fat, is when you finish them with corn. They tend to taste better, although part of that is that we just don't know how to cook grass-fed, grass-finished. It doesn't need to be cooked as long. Yeah, there's different consensus. My feeling is if you have fine-tuned everything else and you've stayed away from seed oils and carbohydrates and processed food, then be nitpicky and buy the expensive stuff. If you're not to that level, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't worry about the quality of your meat, because the cow is ruminating on that food first, which helps to, you're not the one eating the corn. There's this extra layer of protection from what's going into that cow between your mouth and the corn. But regardless, I think it's one of those things that you don't worry, like Dr. Barry always says, don't worry about the shoes you're wearing to the ball as you're sinking on the Titanic. Fix the big stuff first.
Yeah. I've mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again real quick, though. One time, Dr. Bickman was talking to us about how students who don't have much money would come to him and say, "Oh, Dr. Bickman, I can't eat this way. It's just too expensive. It's too expensive." And he would always tell them the same thing: go find the very cheapest eggs you can possibly buy, and go find the very cheapest ground beef that you can possibly buy, and eat that, and you'll be 90% there. So,
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, it's great advice. I find too often people use it as a barrier. It's like they're searching for that one little thing to say, oh, I can't do this, so I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing. And so, yeah, certainly don't let this be a barrier to overall health, like what you're saying.
Yeah, and for some of our audience who are very well versed in this and have been doing it for a long time, this is a very important topic for them. And eating organic and eating grass-fed and free range and so forth is important for them. But some of our clients are just starting, and that's probably not as important as Carly said. So I think Carly said it perfectly.
And if it is important to you, I mean, they're legislating all sorts of new laws about what kind of vaccinations they can give animals. This kind of stuff is scary. If you can find your own source, know the farmer, know the rancher where you're getting your food, ultimately that should, be the end pinnacle goal for all of us, is to know where our food is coming from. And that will help us avoid some of these problems that I see in the future with the way that laws and regulation of meat and products are going. But I've seen people make huge improvements by eating off of the dollar menu at McDonald's and Wendy's. So don't, like Lindsay said, don't make it a barrier for sure.
It's also important to get back engaged in our health, right? To get back into the kitchen and start cooking and baking ourselves. I think it's important to start thinking about these things and implementing them into our lives, because it means we're engaged back into our health.
it's a good way to think of it, Rich. Maybe Carly, we could put this question into the next round of questions for Dr. Bickman and have him
Great idea.
address it specifically, to the advantages and of grass-fed and so forth. That'd be good.
Yeah, great idea.
Okay, Rich. Well, good luck out there in Nebraska, and we'll see you when you
Hey,
get
thanks,
back. And
guys.
thanks for the smart idea.
Go Cornhuskers.
See ya.